Hey yo everyone! In case you missed it, the Star Wars Battlefront 2 community has been making a statement these last few weeks by flooding the game's online servers. Believe it or not, the game just hit its all-time concurrent player peak, 8 years after its initial launch. Fans like me are hoping that this surge in the player base will make enough noise for EA to greenlight a Battlefront 3. Because despite the rocky launch, Battlefront 2 is some of DICE's best work. It sucks their wave of competence crested way after the game's launch, but hey, better late than never, I suppose. So, this recent revival of what many would consider a dead game has inspired me to dig deeper into this line of thinking. What exactly is a dead game? This video is just going to be a bit of a casual conversation, basically, I just want to hear you guys' thoughts on this topic. Anyway, if you enjoy the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. We're getting closer to our 1,000 sub goal. Alright, let's get it. Alrighty, so to really sink our teeth into this subject, I think we need to start by asking ourselves a weird question. Are video games lasting too long? Ever since Fortnite took the world by storm with its free-to-play live service elements, every major video game studio has tried to replicate that lightning in a bottle. Some have had success, and in a few cases, spectacular success, but more often than not, these types of games fail horrendously. I mean, let's take a look back at some of the best live service games out there right now. We have our free-to-play titles, such as Fortnite, Apex Legends, and Marvel Rivals, all of which have had a constant stream of content over the years and continue to draw players back to their platforms. We then have the late adopters, games that originally cost money up front, but later went free to play in order to reach a larger audience. These would be games like Rocket League, Call of Duty Warzone, Destiny 2, and Overwatch 2. These publishers saw an opportunity to bake a ton of microtransactions into their games and rake in more cash than they ever could have imagined with just a standard release. But then we have a few games who are trying to walk the line between traditional releases and free-to-play live service elements. This would be games like Call of Duty or Battlefield 2042 or Helldivers 2. Games that include live service stuff like microtransactions and battle passes but still cost $70 or some other amount of cash up front. There are only a select amount of titles that can pull this off, really only the juggernauts of the industry. Call of Duty has such a massive following that they're somehow able to have their cake and eat it too. For everyone else though, if they don't fall in line with those 3 previous categories, then they're most likely destined to fail. Even if we just look at the last few years, there have been dozens and dozens of failed live service games. Anthem, The Day Before, Skull and Bones, Marvel's Avengers, Concord. It's kind of crazy, right? Like, Concord was only live for a few days before PlayStation decided to shut it down completely, and Marvel's Avengers launched right when the MCU was at its peak, so for it to fail so tremendously kinda highlights the negative side of these live service games. These big publishers see the success that games like Fortnite are having and of course want their share of the pie, so they take their IPs and try to build a fan base that will continually spend money on it via microtransactions and battle passes. Unfortunately, these big publishers want to get in on the trend as fast as possible, so they rush their game out and plan to just fix everything later on with updates, but surprise, surprise, it's hard to build a dedicated fan base when your game is broken at launch. But I get their line of thinking, like, why would a studio work on a game that will only make it money once? We see this trend everywhere now. Halo Infinite was meant to milk all the money out of those longtime Halo fans. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League wanted to take advantage of the Arkham fanbase, and GTA Online has had a chokehold on the entire industry for over a decade now. The problem with all of this is that so many games are constantly fighting for our attention that it's hard to keep up. At some point, us gamers are going to reach our limit. There's only so much bandwidth we have to allocate to these games. Like, I can't log in every day to do my stupid daily challenges for Fortnite or whatever, and as a result, I might fall behind on the battle pass, which gives me FOMO, and eventually I might just end up turning me off from the game completely. Now, maybe that's just part of the modern gaming culture, having to always be top of the charts in your favorite game and beating the battle pass as soon as possible, but I think it's more of an issue with how these games are designed in the first place. They're super predatory in making you want to sign in every day and keep up with the Joneses. It's kind of gross. But one of the biggest problems is that all of these live service games have all of these negative things like microtransactions, but not a lot of them truly differentiate themselves from the competition. It's clear that there is definitely money to be made in the live service realm, but in order to fully make the most of it, you have to be the best at what you do. Skull and Bones was an inferior version of Sea of Thieves, and the audience responded accordingly. Marvel Rivals has been one of the best competitors to Overwatch in the hero shooter genre, and its recent explosion in popularity has shown that. My point is, players are going to flock to wherever the best experience is. Sure, there are some gamers out there that will be fiercely loyal to Overwatch or Rainbow Six Siege, but the casual audience, the vast majority of the gaming population, are going to go to what's poppin'. All of this results in every new game fighting tooth and nail to try and break into the live service genre. It's an overly competitive field where it's incredibly difficult to make a big splash, and even more difficult to remain in the spotlight. Part of that could be because in 2025, a lot of us have brain rot and a short attention span, so we're always looking for the next big thing to get our dopamine rush, but I think it's also an issue where after a while, us gamers just want something different. Like, I kind of miss the days when a game would come out, you'd play it for 20 to 30 hours, beat it, and then move on with your life. Now, whenever you buy a game, you're expected to play through this massive 100-hour narrative that's usually just a bunch of filler, or if you want a new multiplayer game, then it's a game that you have to constantly pay attention to and play every day in order to keep up. It's exhausting. Instead of these games feeling like an escape from reality, they're becoming more of a chore or a job in their own sense. So now all of these free-to-play games are competing with each other and honestly themselves to some extent, and us gamers are having to pick and choose what we do with our time and money. Isn't this exactly where we were before the live service frenzy? I think it's kind of funny that we've almost kind of come full circle, right? Games cost $60 to buy, so only a select amount of people will play it. Games go free to play, everyone plays it and enjoys it. These free to play games last forever, so they always make money. Then the next free to play game comes out and everyone switches to that. Rinse and repeat. Now games are free to play, but only a select amount of people will play it, not because it costs money, but because they have 3 other free to play games they're balancing and only have so much time to dedicate to another live service title. I mean, maybe the pendulum will swing back the other way and games will just straight up cost money again, but you know definitively what you're going to be getting. Not too much, but not too little, ideally. A complete package with an ending that you can be satisfied with instead of constantly being strung along by some super long overarching live service narrative that just never really ends in a satisfying way. Now, all this ranting brings me back to what we started with, which is, what is a dead game? To me, a dead game is a game that never truly met its potential. I think that a game like Skull and Bones is dead because it was meant to be this juggernaut of a live service titan and never even got close to those expectations, and it's probably not going to get the content that it needs to reach those goals. But a game like Palworld, a game that has definitely declined in player count since launch, is still alive and well, to me at least. Palworld exceeded its expectations. It's made its money and then some, so everything else is just a nice cherry on top for both the players and the devs. They shouldn't need to feel as if they need to constantly add more content to the game just to appease that live service crowd that's always begging for more stuff to do. At some point, we just gotta be happy with what we get, you know? Like, don't be satisfied with a broken game, but it's okay for a game to have a definitive endpoint. It's okay for devs to move off of a game to work on something new. Not everything needs to last forever. With that being said though, DICE, please work something out with EA so you guys can give us a live service Battlefront 3. Oh my god, this is the type of evergreen game that should be an instant home run. I would 100% dedicate all my free time to a Star Wars Battle Pass. But that's enough of my soapbox. I hope I was able to articulate my thoughts in a way that made sense here. I've had a really long week at work, so I apologize if this video was a bit more casual and all over the place than usual. Anyway, I want to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on live service games? Do you think that video games are lasting too long these days? What is a dead game to you? I'd love to hear all of your thoughts down below in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. It means a lot. I appreciate you guys as always, and I'll catch you in the next one.